What's crack-a-lack? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. And we're doing the Tennessee Titans free agency and a 2020 mock draft. If I were the GM, this is the moves that I would make. But before we get into all that, go ahead and become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the channel. A lot of draft content on the channel this week. The combine's going on. I'm recording this Monday, so a lot of things can change between now and when you watch this. So keep that in mind. But yeah, there's gonna be a little less content this week because I'm watching the combine. I'm doing a lot of evaluating when it comes to that. So, and then also next week there's gonna be probably a butt ton of content as far as, because I mean, this is kind of like the last roadblock before the NFL draft. I mean, if you want to throw pro days in there as well. But a lot of things will change when it comes to rankings. I'm going to bring out a big board next week, as well as a new NFL mock draft. So be on the look for that. And a couple rules when it comes to this, so me doing this. So basically, I don't allow myself to do trades in this. I can't find anything that would let me trade players for picks. So if there's someone that's probably actually more ideally you would want to trade them, I'll let you know, but I have to release them in this regard. And then when it comes to the starting lineups, I'm gonna show you starting lineup at the end of the video. When it comes to that, basically, I'm not doing like your base 3-4 or 4-3. I'm doing the position groups that see the field the most often. I mean, about 70 to 75% of the time, it's like a nickel or some sort of sub package on the field. So I think it's more accurate to see what players will probably be on the field the most. So that's how I do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's dive in. And I'm actually having to do this on here, let's see if I can make this bigger for you guys. Oh, whoops. I'm having to do it on over the cap. Okay, I keep clicking the same thing. Cool. I have to do this on over the cap. That should look a lot better. Opposed to fan speak, because they have Vaccaro. They have his cap savings is like 40 million. It's just like a bug in their system. So I'm doing it on this just to get a more accurate depiction of that. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the cap situation. They're sitting at, it looks like 50 million. I think it's going to be closer to 47, 48, but that's about the cap they have. And they do have a few people they really need to re-sign. So there realistically are some releases that must be done. People need to go. And I'm going to start with Malcolm Butler. Yes, he wasn't healthy last year, but I mean, look at how much cap we get from that move by itself. It saves 6 million. So I mean, I kind of like, I think with the draft being so deep at corner, and I mean, they did fine with Tremaine Brock, which, spoiler alert, I intend to bring him back on a 1-year deal. I think they could fill that in. I know they're also going to end up losing Logan Ryan, but there's just more important pieces to sign than a guy as Malcolm Butler. I think the position is very valuable, but he hasn't really played to his contract. And then another guy I plan on letting go, Dion Lewis. This is probably one we could all agree on. And then the next is breaks my heart because I actually love him, is Delaney Walker. Just because Jonnu Smith and Anthony, is it Ferkser? I think it's Ferkser. They kind of they filled that same role. They did a good job in it last year. Delaney Walker, I mean, just again for the money, like it's just a guy we have to move on from. So after those cuts, we're gonna be about 67 million. So let's go ahead and talk about the re-signings. First and foremost, you're franchise tagging Ryan Tannehill. So that takes out a butt ton of what we needed to do, right? Because, I mean, you got to bring him back. I mean, he led your team to the playoffs. He led your team through the playoffs. He's just, you got to bring him back. At least give him a prove it type of deal. Now, the next big free agent, in my opinion, is a guy who was kind of the engine of the offense. Where is he at? There he is. Derrick Henry. You have to bring him back. We're going to extend him. Right now, Over the Cap has his, what is it? His, expected salary to be like, I think, 4 years, 44 million, I believe. I think that's what it is. So, and he's probably going to see a bulk of, because I think it's like his guaranteed money is expected to be around 27 million. So he's probably going to see a bulk of that at the beginning of his contract. So we're just going to go ahead and put in a portion of that here. 27. Just going to do some basic math. Let's go with 5 million for that first year. Not that changes it too much, but it does change it a little. So 29 million. We're not working with a lot at this point, but there are two more, I think, necessary re-signings to make here. Dennis Kelly, because I don't expect to bring back Jack Conklin. He's been all right. He's been okay for a first rounder, but for the money that he's going to get paid in free agency, I don't think he's worth it. A guy, Dennis Kelly, who, I'm not going to lie, he's not too far off from the type of production they got out of Conklin. So I don't mind giving him, I'm going to do 2 years. Will that translate? Yeah, okay, good. 2 years, 5 million. So we're going to extend him. And then the last, like I said, Tremaine Brock being the last guy, we're going to bring him on a 1 year deal. And I have him getting basically the same amount a little bit more, but almost the same amount he did last year. 1 year, 1.5 million. So now we got almost 27 million going into free agency. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. But there are two guys that, at least when it comes to free agency for the Titans, I don't think they're not going to make a big splash, in my opinion. At least I wouldn't, and I would just try to find some, like, two of the biggest hits they're probably Titans are going to take this offseason. It's going to be that right tackle spot, and it's going to be corner with Malcolm Butler and Conklin not coming back. So I decided I'm going to sign Eli Apple. It's not a sexy option, but it just brings in competition. Just 1 year, and I think his expected is 5 million. So we're bringing him in. And then the other one is going to be, let's see. It's going to be, what is it? Alapole Vadaviti? I think I nailed that. Ah, man, I was listening to it before I hopped on, and you know when you get on and just your mind blanks. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too much. Homeboy at TCU. But we're gonna give him the similar money as Dennis Dennis Kelly. So that brings in competition. So that leaves them with 20 million, close to 20 to 19 million in cap, so they could fill out the rest of their roster if they need be with smaller free agents. Those are kind of like, yes, your big free agent signing is Eli Apple. It's not sexy, but you use free agency just to fill needs. So now we go to the draft and we could address. We could just build for the future. And I feel like this lets me now, I could kind of key in on two different positions. So let's go ahead to this draft. I want to look edge early, and I wouldn't mind looking corner again early. So looking at how this fell right now for us, going through the draft. And it's not a bad idea to look at a quarterback either. But I feel like, what if Ryan Tannehill goes off again this year? I'd feel better about getting one in the second or third round. backup plan rather than the first, especially if Tannehill goes off. So just looking, I won't mind looking here, but the offensive tackles that I would target are gone. Defensive line, again, I don't think any outside of Jordan Elliott, who's vastly underrated, is in a first rounder. At the edge, Marlon Davidson's an inside guy. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think edge might be something to target in the second round. So with Trevon Diggs here, which is wild because I just recorded the Niners video before this, and I picked him in this in their draft too. But I'm gonna go with Trevon Diggs because now we don't have to rely necessarily on a older guy like Trevon Brock. I mean, we got Dory Jackson there. I think Amani Hooker is gonna end up being the slot for the Titans. So they're probably gonna run a lot of 3 safety sets or slot corner, if you will. So with this pick, I do want to address the edge. Wow, man, they flew off the board. That was wild. All right, so sitting here, I was hoping maybe even a Greenyard would be around, but he's not. So Landry does kind of occupy, like, he is a stand-up guy. So I wouldn't mind getting some guy that could put his hand in the dirt. Let's take a quick look. Kenneth Murray, I don't think you'll be here, bud. I mean, okay, honestly, I would take Murray in this. Oh, even Ayuk, I might take. Or actually, Rager. It's going to be interesting how the draft unfolds because, I mean, I don't think Murray, Ayuk, Rager will be on the board by the time the Tennessee's picking again. So I'm not going to do it because it's not realistic to me at that point. So we already addressed the corner position. I can see Ben Barch being picked in the second round. A lot of people are high on him. Getting a nose to eventually replace Daquan Jones ain't a bad idea, but I think I really like Bravion Roy in this draft just because I think he's great value. He's probably up there with Leaky Fotu as the top pure nose tackle prospects. So I'm gonna go with and I know he's ranked a little low here, but I'm gonna go with Alton Robinson, a guy that I really like. Could play the 5 tech, he could play in that Y9 alignment. I think you're almost always okay. I can guarantee almost always you're gonna have this guy put his hand in the dirt, but he kind of fills in what Cameron Wake was doing. I know he was really beat up last year, but he fills in that role what they were doing with Cameron Wake. So you bring in a guy that Cameron Wake could actually mentor in Alton Robinson. So I like the pick there. So wow, they got Kenneth Murray going to the third round. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And then Rager, Ayuk, that's kind of wild. So now I think we kind of I feel like I could kind of do what I want now with this draft, with whatever position I want, you know? So because I kind of the 2 big things I wanted to do, I did. Edge, corner depth. So looking at this sucker now, Harrison Bryant's around. How confident are we in that Jonnu Smith and Anthony Ferkser are the guy, you know? And I wouldn't mind getting more depth at receiver because Corey Davis, he's been kind of so-so. Adam Humphreys, I don't know, he hasn't really seen. They've done well with some of the guys they've had, so I mean, I don't mind waiting on that. Honestly, Harrison Bryant would be a very interesting pick. One that I like. Leaky Fotu's here too. But Bryant is higher on my board, so I'm gonna go with Bryant. Might not be might not be the best looking pick, but I think it's a good pick nonetheless. Yeah, if we could get Bravion Roy in the 4th, I'm okay with that. Yeah, looking at all these receivers left, like Damian Lewis. You know what's the beginning of the 4th round? Damian Lewis could be in that area. I don't think he's gonna have a strong combine outside of, you know, bench press. All right, so what do we got to here? I would be lying to you if I told you I wasn't considering Donovan Peoples-Jones. Cause I was looking at him, I was like, oh, it's not the worst pick, you know. And getting another running back isn't the worst idea either. Basically, a cheaper alternative to Damian Lewis. Like, I would like Benjamin. I don't know if he'll be there. Doesn't look like it. I wouldn't mind Benjamin. Zach Moss, realistically, not here. I don't know why he's so... Like, I don't know why they rate him so low in this. Alright, so let's actually take a quick look. Sean Vaughn, interesting. Looking at receiver, a lot of the top guys fell off the board, so I don't mind waiting later till probably like around your Dewan Johnson, Joe Reed actually will be a guy I wouldn't mind targeting later. Let's go back to tackle. No one I'm in love with. At least not for this pick. Let's see. Oh wow, Bravion Roy went off the board? What happened? Was I sleeping? Didn't even see him go. In that case, Roy off the board. Von Hamilton ain't bad. So I like our first 4 picks, but now I kind of want to focus on maybe getting a playmaker. I want to focus on the playmaker position. So wide receiver, running back. There we go. Wow, my brain just like farted hardcore. I wish you could like select multiple groups to look at so you could look at them as a whole instead of having to go back and forth. Sean Vaughn would have been nice. Wow, just picks ahead of us too. JJ Taylor is very similar to what oh my goodness, brain, to what they had in Jan Lewis, so I wouldn't mind taking him here. I think I'm gonna do it. Michael Hasty is interesting too, but I really like Taylor. I like his scat back. He's basically he's a pass catcher, dude. He ran some beautiful routes there at Arizona. I know, I live there. Saw it personally. Like, I always go back to the Washington game where I think his numbers should have been through the roof. Just Khalil Tate kept missing them. I think he missed him on. I know he missed him on one touchdown. I can't remember the other. I think the other got. He caught it, ran it in, and got called back because of some offensive line call, holding, hands to the face, something. All right. Here we are for our pick. Actually, there are a few interesting guys here. Travis Gibson, I don't think he'll be available at this pick. I think he'll go higher. It's the 7th round. So I think if we're gonna pick a guy, take a look at the best receiving prospects available. See, a guy like Elijah Lipscomb, he's going to be very, very highly sought out as an undrafted free agent. So honestly, if we snag him here, they get a guy underneath. It's pretty deadly in the screen game. Essentially just a chain mover. So I don't mind getting that. I don't mind that. All right, so let's take a gander at our draft. Trevon Diggs, Alton Robinson, Harrison Bryant, Devon Hamilton. I love all those picks. Only 6 picks for the Titans, eh? I think we made the most, especially the first 4 we did really well with. JJ Taylor, Elijah Lipscomb. So, honestly, I think we only got one immediate starter. That was Trevon Diggs. So, yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's take a gander at what starting lineup will look like for 2020. All right. So the starting lineup, offense. This is what it's looking like for 2020. Actually, it's basically the same thing you saw last season, minus Jack Conklin. I got Dennis Kelly there instead. Nate Davis. We got Jones, Safford. They all coming back. I do have Jonnu Smith and I do have Anthony Firkser as the current starting tight ends. Maybe Harrison Bryant could find his way in there as well. Corey Davis and Brown are your linebackers. Wow, wide receivers, as well as we got Derrick Henry, Tanner. You're bringing back the same offense for the most part, and then on defense, it's actually about the same. We're bringing about a very similar defense. We got Jeffrey Simmons. We got Joel. We got Casey. We got Jones. Keep in mind we do have Devon Hamilton there as well. And then at linebacker, we got. Well, let's talk about edge real quick. We got Harold Landry, but keep in mind we also have Cameron Wake and Alton Robinson there as well, who can actually put their hand in the dirt and they could come play on the line in sub packages. And then we got Brown at linebacker, Rashaan Evans, who played stellar in the playoffs, but during the regular season, it was a pretty down year for him in general. So I expect him to be just fine. I expect him to look really good throughout 2020. And then I love the depth we have at corner because we got Adoree Jackson, we got Trevon Diggs, we brought in Eli Apple, we have Tremaine Brock. I think that's stellar as is. Trey Smith's there as well. Amani Hooker's going to be the slot. And then we got Biard and Vaccaro at safety. So like I said, it looks remotely the same. But I think this is a team that could easily repeat, at least get to the wild card. I think they're definitely in playoff contention. But that's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.